Hello, John Talley here with Partzilla.com. Yeah, engine cases show their age with time, let's face it. Road grime, dirt, grease, especially Georgia clay, and all kinds of stuff can get on it and really take away from the look of your engine. Today I'm going to show you how you can bring them back and maybe, just maybe, get them looking even better than when they were new. So if you're ready, let's go. Engine cases, crankcase covers, cylinders, pretty much anything that's made of cast aluminum tends to get messed up on a motorcycle engine, especially when those parts are subjected to more punishment like on a dirt bike or an ATV. Dirt and rocks, they scratch up the aluminum, and oil and grease and Georgia clay, like I said, they will stain it. And the elements just do a number on aluminum in general. So to do this, you're going to need a couple of specialty tools that you might not have in your toolbox. First, you're going to need a rotary tool like a dremel. Now, a corded version will give you a little bit more power, but a cordless one will work fine as well. For me, I prefer to use a die grinder, and that's what I'll be using today. They start at around 30 bucks and go up in price to a couple of hundred. Now, you'll also need a benchtop grinder with a buffing wheel on it. Now, they can range in price anywhere from 50 bucks to several hundred, depending on just how large of a unit you want to go with. Now, an 8-inch buffer is optimal, but you can get away with something a little bit smaller if you're willing to endure a little more inconvenience. Now, investment and all that stuff is going to, well, it's going to depend on how often you're going to be able to do a job like this. Okay guys, we've got an engine crankcase cover and now we need to clean it. Now if you've got access to a parts washer, that would be great, but if you don't, you can get away with just using a good brake cleaner. Now just make sure that you either use a brass or a nylon type brush to get it cleaned up. We've already got the bearings, screws, and any brackets removed, and that'll let us take a close look now for any type of damage. Because every now and then a little metal shard can get in there and then rattle loose on the inside of the crankcase and cause damage. And now is a perfect time to take a really close look to make sure that's not the case. If I see any rough edges, I can use a die grinder and just file it down a bit to make sure that those edges won't break off in the crankcase when I put it all back together. Now, what I want to do here is use something with some grit to get a nice, clean, uniform surface. Now, as you can see on this stator cover, it has a little bit of damage, probably caused by the shifter being a little too close to it. So what we're going to do is use a Scotch-Brite pad on the end of our die grinder to blend this in. Now, we don't want to go digging into it. We just want to blend the edges around as carefully as possible to try to mask the damage. Now, you may run into an occurrence where you've got an engine case or a cover that's aluminum, but it's also been painted, and that happens more often than not. Now, you can strip off the paint, but just be aware that when you strip it off, it's going to reveal any imperfections in the surface that the paint may be hiding. So be prepared to do a little bit more work if that's the case. One other note I want to make is not every cover that you see is made out of aluminum, even though it may feel like it. In this case, it's printed right on the side. It's magnesium. Now, you can polish magnesium, but I want to warn you, the dust that comes off if you have to do any work with a Scotch-Brite pad or a sander, that stuff is extremely flammable, so you really have to be careful with that. The other thing that you're going to need is a good respirator. And I'm not talking about just a mask. You actually need to get a quality respirator because the dust that can come off either the aluminum or the magnesium, you do not want to inhale it because let's face it, once it gets in your lungs, your body's not going to be able to break it down. It is not biodegradable, so it's going to stay in there. So really need to invest in a good respirator before you get started on this project. Well, now that we've got that done, we can start actually polishing the different pieces to get a nice shine. You could use something like an abrasive nylon to smooth it down and help get more of a pop on the surfaces. And they make conical brushes so you can get into those really tight spots. Now, once we've done with the crankcase halves, we'll go through the same process on the clutch cover, flywheel cover, water pump, and so on. And once I'm done, I'll protect the shine by keeping it clean. When you keep it clean, you can keep it looking good and prevent rust. And if you want to know more about preventing rust, check out our video on that topic as well. Well, look, if you need anything for your motorcycle, come see us at Partzilla.com and we can get you taken care of. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the section below and I'll do my best to answer them. We just want to say thank you for shopping here with us at Partzilla, and we will see you in the next video. Y'all have a great day.